So we see the pound exploring and taking out new lows. There's starting to be forecasts now from major banks of a $1.20 range on the pound. So we're seeing quite a fall here. We're a little bit under $1.30 now. It looks like what we're seeing here is a little bit more of a wild readjustment of expectation as opposed to the underlying fundamentals. We know that Brexit, particularly in the run-up to the triggering of Article 50, will be a sort of orgy of weakness for the pound, and it's going to bring out every bump, wart, boil, and hair this economy has ever had. So we're going to have a little bit of a sentiment test here, and it's going to be uglier than probably the ultimate fundamentals. The economy will be hurt, but probably less than people think right now, but we're going to over and then underestimate. So we had initial overestimation of damage, followed by a little bit unsanguine underestimation of damage. It looks like we're moving back toward overestimation. Our guess is that a mid $1.20 range, $1.25, $1.26 is probably reasonable. I don't see it staying much below $1.20, but that's still a massive reduction, and you're still looking at multi-decade lows in the British pound sterling. The European Union is the biggest economy in the world. It's the big neighbor for England. England is small relative to the EU, and we don't know what kinds of trade deals they're going to have. But here's what we do know. They can't be all that good because the rest of the European Union has to self-preserve, and they have to make a little bit of an example out of England. So it's probably not a great sign. And the other truth is that this will probably reveal other divisions inside British society, already has. And so you're going to have a divided country with unknown leadership going into a period of weakness in a weak global economy with a lot of negative scrutiny on them. And that is a kind of recipe for a lot of tumult, turmoil, and negative sentiment. And we're seeing that price right now into pound sterling. I mean, I think a lot of people in other countries maybe watch with a little of what the Germans sometimes call the Schadenfreude here. They look and they sort of enjoy the suffering of the United Kingdom. I think that's always a mistake. One thing that the United Kingdom got wrong that spectators should get right is we live in a global economy. However you feel about it, whatever happens somewhere else hits you at home, and whatever happens somewhere else to someone else will hit you in your pocket at some point. So sitting in New York City, I bump into folks who think this is sort of good because money's going to run to New York real estate. I think that's been happening for 25 years. I'm not so sure I buy it. But the other thing I try to remind people is they're the single largest sort of tourism group coming to New York City is English, and they just looked at a 15% raise in every single price they face here. I'm not sure that's going to inspire them to come here while they're afraid of their economy at home and everything is on a 25% more sale. I'm not so sure that's unambiguously good. And so in a modern global economy, the corner store operator anywhere in the world who has United Kingdom tourists coming in and buying goods from her or for him has to worry about this too. Global economy, don't make the mistake the British made while you sort of sit back and look at them and their problem and think it's not yours.